Hi and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave and this is episode 1531B and today's date is March 28th, 2018 and the title of the episode is Counterattack Ago, the Deep Empire is About to Fall. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, as we mentioned before, Facebook, they are in a lot of trouble right now. The FTC, they're looking into it. Facebook is out there saying, listen, we have these new tools, and it's amazing how quickly they can come up with these tools and how users can delete their data and things like that. And it's amazing how they're able to do this so quickly. Now, we know that Zuckerberg, he has been selling his stock way before this even happened. He was told that this was going to happen. They knew it was going to happen. And we can see right now the insiders, they knew how to get out of this before it even happened. And what we're seeing from Q is that Facebook is not going to be the only company that's going to be investigated. It's going to be Google, it's going to be Amazon, it's going to be Twitter, it's going to be all of the major social media companies looking into what they have been doing and what illegal practices they have been involved with. Now, Playboy is saying that they are pulling out of Facebook. They're basically dumping their Facebook pages. They have about 25 million fans who engage with Playboy via the Facebook pages. And they're saying they are not going to stay on Facebook because of what is happening, where this company is selling people's data. So we see right now that things are not going well, and Q did say that this was going to happen. Now, 37 state attorney generals, they are demanding answers from Zuckerberg in the data harvesting scandal, and 37 of them, they want answers. And some of the questions they have are, how did Facebook monitor what these developers did with all the data they collected? What type of controls did Facebook have over the data given to developers? Did Facebook have protective safeguards in place, including audits, to ensure developers were not misusing the Facebook users' data? How many users in our respective states were impacted? When did Facebook learn of this breach of privacy protections? And you know it wasn't a breach. You know that this was done on purpose. They sold the data and everyone had access to it. During this time frame, what other third-party research applications were also able to access the data of unsuspecting Facebook users? And they want answers to all these different questions. Now, Obama is out there, on the other hand, saying, and he was speaking in front of a Japanese audience, and he's hoping to rid the world of alternative media from social media and the internet. Now, he says he intends to put his time and money into changing the way people get their news on social media. So the translation to all that is, if you don't comply with the globalists, you'll be banned, shadow banned from social media. And once again, Obama was saying that he's going to be working with the Obama Foundation to change the way the internet and social media function. And you can see right now that their whole goal from the beginning was to shut down any other news site that had a difference of opinion or were asking questions or had evidence to counter what the establishment was saying. I mean, let's take, for example, what happened in the UK with the Skripal case with the poisoning. Now, there's been no evidence whatsoever. They haven't shown that Russia has done anything. They won't even give any of the evidence over to Russia. And we come to find out that we have Porton, which was, like 7 miles away from where Sergei Skripal and his daughter were found. And we know that the Pentagon spent over $70 million on military experiments involving deadly viruses and chemical agents at Porton. And no one is even thinking that maybe we should look into to see if that's where the poison came from. And once again, we also mentioned that A234 was missing from the database. Nobody knows what happened to it. And this database is only added to, you don't delete from it. So we see already that there's a lot of questions. This is going against the establishment. And this is what they want stopped. They don't want anyone out there talking about what is going on. Now we know that Russia is pushing for peace in Afghanistan. And right now, a senior Iranian official says a great military solution in Afghanistan would be for other countries to remove themselves from Afghanistan so peace can move forward. And I think this is the beginning steps of having the United States remove itself from Afghanistan. And we see right now that this is also going to happen in Iraq. We already see that happening, where the U.S. coalition, they want to shrink their role in Iraq, even though there's still the Islamic State that's lingering around in Iraq. We know that the Iraqi officials are saying we need a timeline, we need the troops out of there, and it looks like the coalition forces are looking to start removing some of the forces from this area. The same thing's going to happen in Syria, and this is all going to happen in due time. Now, Q came out with a huge amount of posts, and we see that one of them was Q went silent for a little while. They had to change the trip code because the FBI opened a case on Q, and they had to make sure that everything was secure, so Q went silent for a little while. And we do understand that the corporate media is out there, and they're saying that, Kim Jong-un took this armored train over to China. Why is he going to China? Is he talking about Trump, how to get out of the deal with Trump? I mean, they're making up all this different stuff. But one of the things that Q did say of why Kim Jong-un had to travel to China, I don't know if he was really on the train or not. I think that was a distraction. But the reason why he had to go in person is because the communication through a normal call was not secure. And the only way to make sure that their conversation was secure was to go to China in person. And it looks like the conversation and what they discussed was very positive. And we see that within North Korea, there are deep state operatives that were spying on Kim Jong-un. And a lot of people are saying that Kim Jong-un, he has been controlled by the deep state, but was now convinced to basically go with the other side. And we can see that everything is breaking down in North Korea for the deep state. And we need to go back in time because we know that Google, Eric Schmidt, visited North Korea. They were setting up communications within North Korea, setting up secret comms, and we know that they're part of the deep state. Remember, Google and Facebook and Twitter, they are intertwined within the intelligence agencies. And Q is out there letting us know that all of this is starting to break apart and the deep empire is about to fall. And why are things about to basically implode on themselves for the deep state? Well, one, we have the report coming out from the election fraud cases, and the Department of Justice is looking into this, and there's going to be many people named in this report on how they did this and what they did. We see a lot of government officials and business CEOs that are going to be resigning. We have to follow the resignations to see which individuals are going to resign. We also need to understand that many of these individuals, and of course, according to Q, is saying that many of these individuals, well, they're not even going to make it to trial because most likely they're going to suicide themselves. And he's saying, why is the military so important? Why does he need the budget for the military? No, it's not for war, not to create a war cabinet, not to go to war with Iran. Yes, Iran is next, but Iran is next to have peace, to stop the demonization of Iran, just like the demonization was happening with North Korea. That's the whole purpose of this. But we can see they already have a flow chart of what they're going to do next. This is all part of the plan, and there is a tidal wave that is incoming, and it's going to hit very, very hard, and people are going to be very, very shocked in what is happening. We see that Q is saying everything that has happened out in Parkland is a distraction. Parkland was specifically organized and designed to distract. Actors are now acting, which we know. It is fake. They have no power. Justice will be served to those playing the game. And when Q says this, Q is saying all of these individuals will be paying the price. Guns are safe. Trust the plan. All the charges against Flynn, they're going to drop. They're going to be dropped. All this is supposedly going to be done in 30 days. Cleaning house. The White House now is secure. We're in the final stage right now. So what is happening is the counterattack is a go, which means that in the administration, he has secured the White House, meaning that he stopped probably all leaks. Maybe one or two will get out, maybe not. But for him and for the rest, they do believe that the White House is secure. They have peace in North Korea. They're already making deals with Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, Putin, and they have total control of the situation. They're going to be using the military to basically wrap things up. And this is the counterattack. This is why he needs the funding. It's not to go to war. And we can see that everything is being put into place. The omnibus bill, is it the best bill we've ever seen? Actually, the spending bill. Is it the best thing we've ever seen? No, it isn't. It has a lot of stuff in there that the government officials squeezed in. But what happened is Trump basically enabled the Spending Act, took control over it, and has control over $1.3 trillion. He doesn't have to do what Congress has said to do with the spending bill. These are just suggestions. This is not a budget. We need to be perfectly clear on this. So when we start to look at the big picture and we step back, we can see that things are starting to fall apart very, very rapidly for the deep state. Now, Q did say the deep state might try something. Might try another false flag, might try an event someplace, we don't know where. Maybe they do have information, but they don't want to leak that out, because if they leak that out, then the deep state would be onto them, and maybe they would change plans. But they know that something might happen. And of course, we know this too, because we understand they need a distraction after a distraction after a distraction, because if they don't have distractions, guess what? They're going to have to start reporting on what is really happening here. And I think in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, we're going to see a lot change. We're already seeing it in the economy with Facebook and Amazon. All their stocks are declining. We see the FTC already looking into everything. We're going to see Parkland most likely exposed. All of this is happening at the same time. If you notice, Trump came out today saying that the Second Amendment will not be repealed. Now, this is not for the people. It's to the deep state, because their plan from the very, very beginning was to get rid of the Second Amendment. He's letting them know, you have lost. You will never, ever get this done. It's going to be impossible at this point. And the march that they had and all their everything that they're trying to do with trying to take the guns away from the people, it has not worked. That last event is a failure for them. They got nothing accomplished with what they've done. And now we're moving to the next phase, the counterattack, where Trump and the Patriots, they will have the upper hand. They will know how to get the deep state, to corner them, to make sure they can't escape. And Q did say there will be no escaping what is about to hit here. All the exits will be blocked. And we can see that is exactly what is happening. And if you look, all these individuals that got together, that were trying to get Trump out of office, trying to get the Patriots out of office, it has all failed. They tried and they tried and they tried, and they just can't get it done. So we are seeing right now the counterattack. We're seeing the final stage, and we're going to see many of these individuals being brought in. Now, some of them are going to try to run, but I believe they already have tabs on them. They already know where these people are going to go. We already have the algorithm that they use to basically spy on people, the algorithm they use to know what's going on. That was provided by Snowden. And we can see that a lot of this stuff is all starting to come to an end. So the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months are going to be very bumpy. We're going to see a lot of information come out. We're going to see a lot of scrambling by the corporate media. We're going to see the deep state. They're going to try to have an event. They're going to go on the defensive, and they're going to try to distract the population like they always do, but it's going to fail. I mean, depending on how big they make the distraction. Now, if they make it huge, which I believe this is the only thing they have left to do, if they just do a small distraction, it's not going to be big enough to get what they want. I think they're going to have to go big or go home, and they're going to have to really bring it this time. Now, what they most likely will try, which I thought they were going to try before the Parkland shooting, I thought they were going to do something much larger than that. But I think what they tried to do is they try to go down this route like, they've been doing all along, and they realize that this didn't work. I think the next event that is coming is going to be much, much larger. And they already see what Trump and the Patriots are doing with Facebook, Google, Twitter, Amazon. And once he gets the investigations going with all these different companies, their stocks are going to plummet. When those stocks start to plummet, actually beforehand, you're going to see a lot of these investors, a lot of these CEOs, insiders start to dump their stocks. You know it's coming. You know that something is about to happen. Just like Zuckerberg was dumping billions and billions worth of stock, we knew that something was headed our way. Once you see this happen, you know the market, well, it's going to have a difficult time staying up. I mean, yes, they can push a button. Yes, they can do whatever they can with their manipulation, but it's going to start to not make any sense. It's going to show the world that there's something wrong with the market if they do this. I mean, if they go ahead and they manipulate the market while all these tech stocks, the FANG stocks, start to decline, I mean, they're exposed. So we can see that he can bring it down at any minute. He can change the narrative and point to the central bank, point to the deep state, bring all these individuals in, shut down their operations all at the same time. And I think this is what he's doing. He's surrounding them, cutting off their source of power, cutting off everything that they had before. And again, this is the deep state. It's not, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Yes, she's part of it, but she's a puppet. There's people that are much, much deeper than that we don't even know about, that are pulling all the strings, that are calling all the shots. Yes, we do have the puppets that are out there. Those people are going to be brought in, but we need to go much, much deeper. We need to find those people that have been pulling the strings, pushing the buttons, and having all these puppets do what they want. And the only way to do that is to cut off the source of their power. To cut off the source of the power, you need to go to the central bank. You need to cut off the funding. You need to cut off the intelligence agencies. You need to cut off their ability to blackmail, spy on everyone. And this is what is being done. It's taken quite a while to set all this up, but I think now that they have everything pretty much set up, everything in position, I think everything is a go right now. And I think we're going to see the deep state really start to sweat it out. We're going to see many, many different things in the news, and everything is going to start to fall apart on them. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.